What's up? Welcome to Tales Tomorrow. I am Morrow, your storyteller for today, and with me we have some more RPG horror stories. I replaced some of the equipment that I use typically on these sort of recordings, so if I sound a little bit different, I'm still getting a hang of what my settings were and stuff like that. So things may look or sound a little bit different, but don't worry, we're gonna get it to look just right and sound just right. Anyway, while I'm getting the technical difficulties out of the way, let's get to some RPG horror stories for today. Don't like that I sound like I'm masturbating? You are the problem. Okay, I'm gonna let you know ahead of time, the first couple of stories are gonna be about not safe for work, sex-related themes. Yeah, so just a warning for the rest of the video. This story is a nice reminder that the people you meet playing online can always be a mixed bag. I've recently gone through a slew of interviews for a game I'm running when I interviewed one candidate who from the beginning felt a bit off. At first the guy was just a bit awkward, which isn't necessarily bad when you're first meeting someone, but as the conversation continued, the red flags started showing as he admitted he'd been kicked from several games before with no apparent explanation or warning and could only play via paid games, and also that they were particularly interested in playing a homebrew juvenile dragon character. Another red flag. If the player has already been kicked from several games before without an explanation, maybe there's something a little bit more behind the scenes that they're not really saying. But wanting to play a juvenile character, like I guess an underage character, I'm guessing that's what they're trying to mean, that's a whole other can of worms. And at that point you gotta be really specific about like what is their intention from that point on. It'd be one thing if they understand they're playing a younger character, but they're not gonna do anything sleazy and you can trust the player, that's one thing. But if it's somebody that you don't really know, you don't know how they're gonna behave or what kind of weird sick fetishes they're gonna try to force into your game, so it's a little bit of a hit or miss, especially when it comes to meeting anybody new. I think the biggest thing to do is to ask them to maybe age them up. And if they're very adamant about keeping their character juvenile, I guess, then that might mean it's a red flag and probably best to steer clear of. We've seen stories where people were really nice and cordial, but some just really want to experience those sexual fantasies out in TTRPG for whatever reason. But the thing that really got me was the constant sexual sounding moans from him as we talked. Like, I'm not exaggerating when I say it. It genuinely sounded like he was edging with a vibrator. It went something like this. Okay, I'm gonna try my best for immersion purposes only to make it as realistic as possible, though I'm probably gonna regret it, aren't I? So, how experienced would you say you're with 5e? I've been playing for a couple of years now, and with a few different groups during that time. Oh, God. I'm gonna regret this, aren't I? I'm gonna regret actually putting this. Editor Morrow, please reconsider with all your heart to not put that in. I don't know if it was a speech impediment or he was actually playing with himself, but it made me uncomfortable as hell, and past experiences playing online taught me to trust my gut about first impressions. I didn't want to be rude or make him feel bad though, so I finished up the interview and moved on to the others. I mean, at least it could have been like, hey buddy, are you jerking it while we're doing the interview? I don't know, man. Most people would just be like, oh, sorry, I'm moaning because I came from the gym, or I have this thing, this condition, and I just have to moan sometimes for whatever reason. I understand the OP is trying to be considerate and stuff, but I'm pretty sure this guy's just literally cranking it. When I informed the dude after a few days that I didn't think we'd be a good fit, they got really upset and asked what he'd done wrong. I told him that I just felt we weren't really compatible personality-wise, and also the constant moaning sound from him were really off-putting and made it sound like they were masturbating. I didn't want to shame him if it was actually a speech impediment, but I felt a bit sorry for him and figured maybe he didn't realize he was doing it, and that it was the reason they'd been kicked before. That, and he did ask me why after all. Cue a tantrum claiming that I've been too picky, that I must be a horror story DM. Remember, this person literally admitted that they've been kicked from several games before, blah blah blah. So I just blocked him before he could continue with that immature sour grapes. Given how he responded, I'm thinking he was in fact cranking it. In this situation, yeah, better safe than sorry. Rather not deal with this kind of person whatsoever and just move on to somebody else. I mean, imagine if he was actually cranking it. That's weird, dude. Don't be on voice with somebody. Actually, it might be dependent. Maybe you just have like a really nice voice and really couldn't help himself or something. I don't know, dude. I've known some really strange dudes that actually admitted that they've actually been cranking to like a sound of like a woman's voice, and it just sounds like the most insult thing I've ever heard. Maybe you have like a really nice voice and they were just an indecent piece of shit. Who knows? Weird situation, but hey, listen, better to avoid the red flags just in case. Anyway, let's get to another weird sex story for today. DM uses my character to explore his not safe for work interests, refuses to tell us anything, ends campaign abruptly upon being forced to give us information. Decided to repose this because everyone was saying it could be condensed. For introductions, there is me, a human fighter, undead rogue, warlock, monk, paladin, ranger, monk second character, DM, the problem. This was my first D&D campaign and it was a while ago, so some details are a little fuzzy. Just for future reference, my fighter was looking for a 16-year-old daughter after she was kidnapped as a baby and his wife and son were murdered. Upon the campaign starting, we do some basic things, fight some cultists, get a side quest to find the blacksmith daughter, and head to the cultist base. We find a caged polar bear that somehow turns into a girl and walks away through a solid wall. We also had a shopkeeper that randomly knew all of us and our backstories with no explanation as to why. The DM also began the first session by bragging about how many PCs he's killed, and the one time he actually got a TPK. Is that really something worth bragging about? It's kind of a weird flex, man. It's just like, I can't imagine a DM just going, oh man, I killed so many players. Oh, I have so many kills under my belt at one point, and we did a TPK. That doesn't give me any confidence in your DMing ability whatsoever. If you're gloating about killing player characters, yeah, you can do that. Of course you can. You're the DM. You have the power to literally say, suddenly dragons, 100 dragons. I mean, some DMs can literally just go be like, rock falls, everyone dies. There we go. That's a TPK. Funny how the DM is not gloating or is proud of their epic moments with a campaign or a story. They're gloating about their player kills, which is such a weird flex, dude. We see a barrier of electric energy with a blacksmith's daughter inside of it, and a passage leading downstairs. We head downstairs and are attacked by a man we'll call the Gunslinger. When the Gunslinger feels he's going to be defeated, he takes a zipline over all our heads, somehow not provoking opportunity attacks, shoots the ceiling, and causes a cave-in while he flees. What was that ammunition the guy's packing? Good lord. Caves the ceiling with one shot? Blink! Rock falls. Crazy. We finally break out and find the girl dead. Upon returning her body, I go for a drink. The DM had me roll a constitution save. I rolled low and became drunk off of one drink. The DM then rules that I wouldn't be able to control myself as he makes me sleep with another tavern goer and makes so much noise the entire tavern can hear it. Okay, hold on, that's weird. First of all, as a DM, don't force your PCs to get into a bed or to bed somebody into any sort of sexual intimate interactions without asking if they want to do that. Second of all, as a player, you have every right to speak up and say, nope, doesn't happen. No DM, nuh-uh, didn't happen, psych. I'm calling psych, it didn't happen, and continue that until the DM finally gives up. Because it's your character. The DM doesn't have the agency over your character, you have agency over your character. No matter how many times the DM says, oh, this happened, oh, that happened, or, oh, but you failed the constitution saving throw, so you weren't in control. You could just simply say, like, my character doesn't do anything when they're drunk. They just pass out and flop over and are asleep. That's what they do. They're on bone. They sleep. Simple as that. You can't counter every scummy DM, but you do have player agency and you need to practice it as much as possible. Now the next morning rolls around, Rogue points out that I have a collar around my neck with a leash and a lock saying property of Narissa. Just the day before, I was handing a dead daughter to her father. This isn't the last of the DM's fantasies. Also, I know we stated on this channel before, but do not hand fist or shove your fetishes into the game. Neither as a player or as a DM. Just stop it. Quit doing it. We need to have like a bapping stick every single time we have a DM do that. But you know what I need to do? I need to figure out like a way to like summon a bapping stick. We could just bap every single player in the DM every single time they do this sort of thing. And just anyway, back to the story. While escaping the underground last session, we had a vision leading us to find the mournful satyr. We asked around, and apparently this was so well known that we were given a lead to a city named Umbra that was 90 miles away. The janitor let us use his 2 4-person sleds to travel, with 4 of us in each. I say 4 of us because the janitor had apparently up and quit his job to sled with us, and my new love interest was also coming. Asked why she was coming with us, to which the DM responded, "You're her property. She's not just going to let you leave." Ugh, that's cringe. DM, stop doing that sort of thing. That's cringe. Unless the player consent to that sort of thing, this is some hard cringe. Even if the player wanted that sort of thing, that's kind of cringe, but it's extra cringe because the DM is just ham-fisting the weird fetishes. You're the property of narration now. You just gotta have a collar and a leash now. You better appreciate my fetishes because that's what I like. It's just weird, dude. Stop. Just stop. Eventually, we arrive at Umbra. Narissa, unprompted, removes my collar and leaves. Okay. As we began walking down the alleyway towards our destination, we found the alley became dark all around, almost smothering us in darkness. Managed to get away from the things attack us in darkness, but we were all covered in weird slime and now stuck in a virtually pitch black area that could be lit with a torch now, but it was almost impossibly dark. Investigating the slime, we tried to wash it off with water, which led to Mordai falling unconscious as Barb stabbed into him from the slime. We tried to remove it from Azaki, and he was blinded. We decided to stop messing with it, to which the DM seemed almost disappointed. OP, you forgot to label the names for your characters? We literally have Rogue, Warlock, and what have you. We have classes, we don't have names, so when you have somebody Azaki, I don't even know which one Azaki is. But whatever, we have Azaki and the other one. We managed to find a tavern. As it turns out, we were stuck in something of a time loop with many people. Some would die to monsters, and we couldn't identify, only to return to life the next day, like nothing had happened. We asked the bartender for any information, and all we got was a snide maybe as an answer to pretty much every question. This continues for the rest of the campaign. Having just found out about the name Crick, the only actual information we were given, the group immediately set off to find him. We found him sat on a rock near a cliff. We realized quite quickly he was a satyr, a mournful satyr to be precise. He says, "I wish I had friends like you. I'm sorry for what I've done." Stabs himself and plummets off a cliff. This DM? Oh, my brain, dude. This DM does not know pacing. It feels like everything is going at 100,000 miles per hour, and just there's more questions than there are answers. Why are they chasing this satyr? Why do they need to interact with this satyr? Why are they stuck in a time loop? Why is the stupid bartender constantly says maybe to everything instead of just a yes or no? Why are they fighting the satyr and the satyr just goes shink and falls off a cliff? Why? What is the point? What's the reason for any of this? What is going on here? We try to save him, but the DM doesn't let us. He just plummets to his death, and we all pass out. When we awaken, we're outside of Kirk's home. In front of us lies the dead body of Crick. Wait, Crick? Whatever. The DM makes us bury him and say some words of mourning. We later found out that another campaign the DM was playing, he was playing as Crick, and to save his party, sacrificed himself. The party, in response, simply kept playing and showed they didn't care about his character. Yeah, DM, you kinda didn't give us a reason to care about Crick. Who is Crick? A satyr that's stuck in a time loop. The fine Crick, the mournful satyr, he says some words, bleh, and dies. They wake up, and Crick is dead. If I don't know Crick, why would I care in the first place, DM? What is the point of me caring about this character that you just ham-fisted into the story? Why? DM, why do you do this? Why do you do these sort of things? You could have give Crick a story, an involvement, gave a reason for players to care about Crick. Maybe make him a friendly NPC that gives them gifts. That's simply the easiest way to make players care about a NPC. If they give him gifts and help out a lot and always there in a moment's notice to assist them, not to take over the spotlight, but to assist them and help them. Give him a gift or two, pay him some compliments, I don't know, whatever. Make him feel friendly or something. No, just only there's a dead satyr here and we're supposed to care? Oh, I'm not invested. I don't think any of us could get invested in this short of a time. We don't know anything about Crick. He just exists. Therefore, we're supposed to what, care because he exists? Doesn't make sense. So the DM, upset that his character didn't get recognized for his great sacrifice for his party, chose to put him in a situation where the campaign would not continue unless he sacrificed himself. We scour Crick's home for information and find nothing but trouble. A gas begins filling the ruins of the Crick's home. We run. Along the way, Monk, who is 18, this is important, fails one too many dex saves and succumbs to the gas, becoming stuck and petrified. I held my breath and went back to save him. The DM asked for a strength check and success. I grab him and begin running out towards the surface. At least that's what I would have done if the DM didn't decide it would be a bright idea to roll a con save for the stone that Azaki had been made into due to petrification. Natural 1. Monk crumbles to rock as soon as I try to save him. Monk is dead. Is this like a righteous punishment for not caring for your satyr? Christ. We'll find a group of lizard folk in a tundra setting, and I quickly usher towards some hot springs where my character is quickly hit on by lizard folk twins. The DM seemingly using my character for more sexual interests. It's always my character for some reason. If it's your character, then I'm assuming the DM is probably trying to pin for you or something. I don't know, maybe they'll like you and they're like, ooh, I want to do something with their character. Or maybe you made a character that's like so hot and the DM just has completely just unrestricted hots for your character and just want to put them in that sort of sexy situation because they're turned on by your character. Listen, I'm trying to get into the DM's mind even though I don't want to because it feels icky and slimy. I'm trying to rationalize the most irrational explanations and decisions that I've ever seen. I'm trying my best, okay? I'm trying my best to figure out why that is the case. But I have no idea. I'm just guessing. I'm spitballing. We run into Monk's new character, Ranger, in a nearby forest. We notice a strange mechanical device that wanders towards us and we tripped it over. It immediately released a huge plume of the same petrifying gas that killed Monk. We all managed to make it to a cave. Along the way, Warlock tried to cast gust of wind to blow the gas away to no response. Within the cave, we found a strange glow. Investigating, we found a portal to the Feywilds. We head in with no choice. After walking a short distance, we found a damaged tree ant, claiming an evil man took its arm and ran. We agreed to get the arm back, and are promised a great reward. We informed the man we're looking for is a drow. The final session, we'll find a well-dressed man in a long coat floating face down in a lake. We retrieve him and find that somehow he isn't dead. We find a very distinct revolver. We had the gunslinger from the other story. He quickly darts away and puts up shield before talking to us. Apparently he's been trying to escape his fiancée, an evil woman that is the queen of the Feywild. We ask him for information. His response? Okay then, if you can hit me, I'll tell you anything you want to know. I immediately accept this challenge. Rogue uses his pet raven to give me an advantage. I do one dice roll with modifiers 18. Miss. The DM brags. I roll again. Nat 20. Now we can finally get something. The response? Okay, what do you... Oh no, she's coming. We all see the Queen of the Feywild herself approach us. The small army of guards. Oh my god, dude. The pacing of this DM, it's enough to break necks. I feel like my neck is gonna hurt tomorrow from this because the pacing is just too much. This is going too fast. I can't tell if it's OP just kind of skipping through the details or if that's actually how the DM is pacing the story. I can never tell. But it feels like things just go zoom, 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 zoom everywhere, back to back from one spot to the other, from one big moment to the other big moment. It's just, I need a breather, dude. I need a breather. I roll an investigation and the DM says I can tell she's 21. What? How do you figure out someone's age through investigation? Because like perception, I could see. You could like look at somebody and be like, okay, so they don't have wrinkly skin, they have a very smooth face, and they look on the young side of things, so they're probably ballpark of under 27 or something. I don't know. But investigation? I imagine investigation, like this is maybe I'm just overthinking it, but I imagine investigation, you're physically touching and feeling around to see like if you can investigate something. You lifting up a hidden door, a passage, you're moving a bookshelf, you're looking around corners and stuff. You're physically involved in stuff, physically like looking around, trying to tinker with things. Investigating someone if they're 21, I can only imagine somebody just went and fondled them and be like, yep, 21 guys, that's 21 years old right there. Weird, man, weird. The gunslinger approaches the fiancée he so wanted to kill with a kiss on the cheek and holding her hand. They seem to be completely in love from what we are told. which immediately contradicts what little information we were actually told. The queen then tells me that she's my 16-year-old daughter and that she is happy to see me. She proceeds to place her staff back onto the tree and a door opens at the base of the tree. Everyone's families are there and we all get a happy ending. Campaign end. That's it. The campaign just ends abruptly. Character stories finished. World? Still an endless wintry hellscape, but whatever. The DM did later admit that he wished he had ran the campaign differently and has essentially wrote himself into a corner. How? You know, I am mad. That is the lamest excuse that a DM could ever give about how the story pacing has gone. Do you know what you can do if you don't know, if you feel like you've been written to a corner about what you could do for the story? Oh, this very handy thing called ask your players. See what they want to do for the story, see where the far wants them to go, and then course correct. You course correct into the direction that everybody can have a good time with. Ask your players what kind of story, what kind of things they're interested in the most, and then build a story around that with your own twists and spins, not fetishes, but your own twists and spins and additions so that everybody can be happy with the story being told together. And then keep those weird fetishes of yours, any fetishes of yours, out of the game and quit hand-fisting them. I don't even have the words for you, dude. I'm upset at this DM. None of it really mattered. None of it mattered. None of the weirdness of the not safe for work stuff or weird fetish stuff. None of it mattered. The story didn't matter. The progression didn't matter. The character's involvement didn't matter with a gunslinger, right? The traveling to the Feywild forcefully didn't matter. Fighting a giant construct that they fought earlier didn't matter whatsoever. Fighting anything didn't matter. Finding Krieg the Satyr didn't matter. None of it mattered. Why would you do something like that? Why would you succumb yourself and your players to that sort of experience? Who is having fun here? I don't think anybody is having fun whatsoever. Everybody just, it ends. Happy ending, guys. It just, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in the DM. I'm disappointed in the player for not bowing out and telling the DM no early on. I mean, I'm not really bashing on the OP or anything like that, but man, this DM is just, what are they doing? What are they doing? Why? Why even do any of this? Why even do any of it in the first place? Why hand-fisting weird fetishism? Why ruining a story and just ending it for no apparent reason? I didn't see a reason to end the story. I think the DM just lost creativity. Maybe they got bored. Maybe they didn't know what to do. Maybe they realized, hey, my players don't care for my fetishes. I don't know what else to do. Think of something else. Simple as that. Whatever. We can just boil this down to a terrible game that could have gone worse, but it didn't. You know what? It could have been worse. It could have been way more fetish-inducing, way more horny-inducing, but it wasn't. And I'm okay with that completely. And with that, that's going to be all our stories for today. I want to thank you very much for watching, and thanks so much for being here. If you like what I do, consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like. Also, if the RPG Horror Stories ever goes down, or if you want to submit your own personalized horror story, email is down in the description below. I'll see you again in more Tales Tomorrow. Bye-bye.